My name is Kisha, and I am adopted. This is my story. Well, I've always known that I was adopted. It wasn't a secret. My parents made sure that I knew who my mother was. I will admit that I always knew there was something missing. It felt like there was a hole there. I wasn't sad. It was somewhat of an empty feeling, and no matter what I did, that hole was always there. Well, I did know that I had a sister and a brother. A sister named Shamiah and a brother named Joseph. But of course, my adoptive family. I had a brother and a sister. I had Kathy, and I had Ashley, my younger brother. We were such a loving family. Yeah, we were a loving family. Well, my thought was, are they okay? Were they adopted also? Did she keep them after me? Did they have a good life? And because of that, I had a lot of guilt. Like, I didn't want to enjoy my life because I felt like they were not enjoying theirs. So, during the course, and this was like really early on, this was first and second grade that I was having these feelings. It became more prominent being around strangers that really didn't know our story and know that I was adopted. So what they did was made me feel like a black sheep, an outsider. I would always hear, well, I know these two, Kathy and Ashley, but okay, who is this? Like, why am I standing next to them? Because my skin wasn't as bright and my hair wasn't as curly with these long braids. So I started to pull away. I started to shy away. I quit going to family functions. If they sit somewhere, I would sit somewhere else because I did not feel like I was a part of it. But going into the third grade, I believe that was my turning point because I was just acting out and, always mentioning that I was adopted. It's like before somebody else had a chance to separate me, I separated myself. So I went to a teacher and she was like, what's your problem? And I'm like, I'm adopted. And she was like, okay, well, does your family feed you? Do they care about you? I'm like, yeah. And she was like, okay, well, I'm going to need you to get over yourself. And from that point on, I felt like I started to live.
Hi, my name is Shamiah, and I'm adopted. And this is my story. I was adopted when I was 18 months old by Mary Gillespie. Growing up, I had a wonderful life. My mom told me that I was adopted at a young age. So I always grew up knowing that I was adopted. And honestly, I was proud about that because it made me a little different amongst all my friends. In my mind, that just meant I had a lot of people out there that loved me and cared for me. I didn't necessarily know who they were, but they were all out there. And I knew that that made me special. I did know that I had an older brother. Didn't know where he was, but I knew that there was somebody other than me.
Okay. Well, thinking back, I met Priscilla going into my high school year. Well, it was Christmas of my 9th grade year. We were sitting around or whatever the case may be. The phone rang. This lady was on the phone telling me her name is Lisa, and she wants to know. She want to know too much about my biological mother, about how did I feel about my biological mother. She was telling me that Priscilla, which is my biological mother, she was like, Priscilla missed you and she had to give you guys up for adoption. And I was like, okay, but something in me was like, I don't really like where this conversation is going. So I told my mother, I said, hold on, I'm gonna let you speak to my mother. So put the phone down. Back then we had phones in the house. Put the phone down, ran back there, told her, it was a lady on the phone named Lisa asking a whole bunch of questions. She was like, what you want me to do? And I'm like, pick up the phone. So she picked up the phone, I hung it up. I kept watching TV. A couple of seconds later, screams come from her room. And I'm like, you know, I ran back there and she's just crying. And she said, "This is your mother on the phone." And I'm like, well, you know, you wait for those days, you wait for those times. And when it happens, you're speechless. You don't know what to do. So later on, after talking and some conversations and telling the family, hey, you know, she's here in the States and she's looking for us, and 'cause that's another long story. But to know that she was okay, she was fine. And a couple of days before Christmas, we decided to go meet her. So Christmas Eve, me and my parents and my grandmother and my uncle, we all got in the car and we drove to Virginia to meet my mother for the first time. Not only did I have a +1 as far as my mother Priscilla was concerned, I also acquired another brother and sister. So I had 2 more, so it was a total of 4. Wait, Shamiah 5, and then Joseph 6. Whatever, it was a lot of us. It was a lot of us. But that's when I met Valencia and Elijah. They were younger than me, but they were absolutely awesome. We all kind of clinged together. Everywhere one went, the other one went. And that was that was the best Christmas present I ever received.
It wasn't just me. My mom also adopted another girl who was 10 years older than me, and our birthdays were 2 days apart. And that was my older sister, Doris. We had some good times. As I got older, we were younger, about middle school, there was a TV series out called Sister Sister. And that was probably the first time that I convinced myself that I had a twin. So even though I knew about my brother, I was like, I know there's somebody out there and it's a twin, and we're gonna bump into each other at the mall just like the girls in Sister Sister. And just FYI, don't tell my sister, but we really do look alike. She doesn't think so, but I know we do. So I'm pretty sure that's how the Lord answered my prayers.
No!
So, going through life, I was content and I was happy with my life. I wasn't in a rush to find my biological family, although I wasn't opposed to it either. My mom always comforted me and let me know that if I ever wanted to find them, that she would always help me. So it was never a feeling of misplaced loyalty. I always knew that she had my back, and if that's what I wanted to do, she would walk that walk with me. And I love her for it. Thinking shifted, and my only thought was, if I ever find my biological family, I want my life to be perfect before I found them, because I look at adoption as a beautiful thing, and I didn't want my life to kind of be in shambles. So if ever I met them, you know, they were like, oh, well, I'm not sure if that was a good idea. I wanted them to be able to say, or to look at my life and say, you know what, that was a good decision. And that's what I feel, that it was a good decision. And that's what I wanted to convey to my biological family if I ever met them. So that was my thing. I just wanted to wait till my life was a little bit more perfect and I had, you know, all my ducks in a row before we finally met.
I actually have to admit, one thing that I used to do all the time is my mother would get these Publishers Clearinghouse packets in the mail, if anybody remembers that, with all these different bajillion little stamps and all the paperwork you have to send in to win all the money in the universe. And one of the things that I found in there was a U.S. search. So you can search for anybody if you just send a little money and put all the information that you know about the person, and they'll find them for you. So when my dad gave me money, I would fill out these papers, put the little stamps on there, and I would send this paper off hoping that they could give me something that I could find my sister and brother. I spent a lot of money, a lot of time. And after I met Priscilla, we actually put some information on an adoption website back in, I believe, 2004. Just that if for some reason she went looking, she would find it.
So, one night, we had, kind of just gotten the internet, and I was showing my mom, not just got the internet, but I was showing my mom how to Google something, because she worked with computers all the time, but really wasn't that internet savvy. So I've always grown up knowing my biological name. My name now is Shamiah, but my biological name is Shamiah. So it was one night late, and I was showing her, hey, if I Google your name, you have a pretty common name, so you'll get hundreds and thousands of hits. So we did, because her name is Mary Jane, and we got tons of hits. So I said, okay, well, what can we do where you might not get anything? So I said, okay, you know what? We're going to Google my biological name. So we typed it all in. It's Shamiah Crittenden. And we got one hit. Just one. So we click on it, and it's the Illinois Adoption Registry. So it's this website where people who are looking for people that have been adopted, parents looking for children, siblings looking for siblings, just a big website full of information. So we find this one little block that has my information on it. And I'm looking at her like, is this me? I've never seen, is this me? And she's like, yeah, that's you. So it had my name, where I possibly lived, information about my father, something that I never knew anyway, but information about my father, and then it had 2 email addresses, and at the bottom it had just like a little note section, and it said, my nickname is Penny. I have an older daughter named Kisha. Now I'm thinking, okay, well, do I have an older sister? Or is she saying that because me and my brother are not there, that this other girl is her oldest? So I didn't know what to think. But I went out on a limb and emailed both of the addresses. Now for me, it's probably the longest week of my life. So every day I would come home and check my email, and nothing ever came back. And that was right when, you got mail, would, the instant messenger would, had come out. So I would send out an instant message to each one of the emails. And every day I would just say, okay, well, it's just not time, because I had kind of gotten comfortable with the idea of meeting my biological family. Even though I had a great life, I was, comfortable with that thought and actually kind of excited about it. So a week passed, and I typed up an email that they say that they never got to this day. But the email just said, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to disturb your life. This is what my life looks like. I'm not mad at you. I'm not angry with you. So after I sent the email, I sent out the instant message to both of the email addresses. I sat there for a few seconds, and then something popped back up on my screen.
So fast forward to the future, and just one day, me and Ray, we were working on some music stuff, and he had to download the AOL Instant Messenger for some Sony business. And as soon as I downloaded it, this was like 5 o'clock, 5:15 in the evening or something like that. And I said, I downloaded it, and it was like, welcome, whatever. And a message popped up, and I was like, Ray, they're talking to you already. He said, oh, that's probably just a, you know, a welcome. Thank you for choosing AOL, whatever, whatever. And when I looked back at it, it said, hello, my name is Shamiah. What?
So this message pops back and it's like, who is this? And I'm like, Shamiah. So this person on the other side starts asking me all of these random questions that I'm not really sure what the real answer to
So I'm
is.
like, who are you? How did you get this email address? What's your mother's maiden name? What's your favorite dog? No, not your favorite dog. That would be just retarded because I wouldn't know that anyway because I didn't really know. Stay focused. So I'm asking her all of these questions and she starts typing back.
So she's asking me all these questions that I don't know the answer to. And the last question was, oh my goodness, I have our mom on the other line. Can we call you? And I am freaking out. I yell up the steps because I was in the basement. I yell up the steps, Mom, she wants to call me. What should I do? And she yells back, let her call you.
Okay, so now it's like we're actually getting ready to talk. So I called Penny and I'm like, oh my God, you know, we're gonna talk. And I was like, I don't even know what to do. And I was like, I was like, okay, I gotta find the phone, so let me find the phone. And she was like, well, what are you talking to me on? And I was like, got the phone. And we call each other.
So the phone rings and we're talking for the first time. And when I tell you that you can hear the smiles across the phone, you can hear the tears, you can hear and feel the joy reaching from 3 different places, from Chicago to North Carolina to Memphis. It was beautiful. I sang. I did. They answered all sorts of questions. Like I have like the mother's maiden name. I wrote it all down. They probably gave a little bit too much information, but it's okay. And we talked all night long.
Oh my God, we were talking and laughing and yelling like one of those, you know, I know I was shaking and Ray is sitting there and going, what they say? And I was like, no! And Shamiah starts singing. At the time, it was the most beautiful thing I had ever heard. Don't tell her I said that.
We talked all night long. Now, this all happened on a Monday in October. So every day when I came home, we would be on the phone for hours and hours and hours. We emailed pictures. I was so excited about this that I printed off, I was in school at the time, but I printed off a copy of everybody's picture and like kept it in my folder as I went to school. FYI, there was some random picture of my brother and another young lady who I thought was my sister, but later found out that that wasn't her in that picture. Sorry, Val. I still love you. So that was on a Monday. So every day we come home and we're talking, spending hours and hours on the phone. So we're at Friday. And you know, there's something awesome about how God works and when he works. So Friday, we get a phone call from Priscilla saying that somebody had called her looking for her because they needed a next of kin. And we found out that our biological father passed of a heart attack that Thursday. With that being said, we found out that he did still live in Chicago, and somebody needed to sign the paperwork so that the funeral home could do what they needed to do. He didn't have insurance, but we found out that that he had recently gotten his GED and was trying to figure out where he wanted to go to college. But myself and my mom, I asked my mom to go with me because I was a little nervous, had to go down to the coroner's office, and I had to, kind of dig up old papers to show who I was, because my name had changed and my last name had changed. So we went down to the coroner's office, and while we were there, I asked the coroner, I said, now I know this is a strange question, but I've never seen him before. Is it okay if I see him? And the guy kind of looked at me like, I don't know. But he said, okay, well, what I can do is you can go in this room and I can show you on closed circuit TV. So the first time that I saw my biological father was after he had passed, laying on a slab on closed circuit television. With all this happening so rapidly and so quickly, we ended up having or beginning to set up a memorial service for him. So on that following Monday, so this is 7 days, we found out that my older brother, Joseph, had passed. He was 25, and it's just really amazing. It's heartbreaking, but it's also amazing about God's timing and how God really works, and how you just see his hand in everything. So my biological father's name is Joseph Nathan. My younger brother's name is Elijah. My oldest son's name is Nathan Elijah. Without knowing anything about anybody, God said, I got you covered. You're gonna be connected throughout life. And that's just a beautiful thing. Oh, and also, Joseph is actually in the same cemetery as my grandmother, my aunt, and my grandfather, and literally hundreds of feet away. He lived in the same town that my husband lives in when he was alive. The facility that he went to was 5 minutes walking distance from where I worked for 2 years. God said, I got you. The memorial service was set up for that weekend. So with great anticipation, we get geared up to meet each other for the first time, me and my older sister, Nikisha. There were so many questions, yet so few answers. But
well, it was that time. It was time for us to meet. I do not believe that I slept at all. So, we met one week, and the next week, here we go. We meet one night, and we bury our father the next day. But we drove through the snow and the storms of Chicago. The snow was going this way and that away, but we never stopped because I was on a mission. I really didn't care because I had to put my hands on the one thing that could fill this void in my heart. Finally. All right, so I guess it comes to that point where we got a couple of questions for each other. Mm-hmm. Some questions, some deep, dark questions that we never asked.
Oh, me first.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what did it feel like the moment that you first saw that thing pop up on the screen, that I am?
Okay, so what she said was, I have to translate for my little sister. She said, how did I feel? What'd you say?
How did you
oh yeah,
feel?
the first time. And she knows that I got a memory problem. Okay, the first time I saw that message pop up on the screen, I was Actually, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a cruel joke that somebody was playing on me because you wait for those moments, but you don't think it's going to come like that. So I thought it was a joke. I thought somebody was taking the information that I had put out there for searches, and I thought it was a joke.
Well, thank goodness it wasn't. Okay. Your question.
Okay, so who's my dude?
Okay. So, oh, you were laughing. Okay. Joseph is her daddy. This is a discussion that we have often. She knows that Joseph her daddy. It's okay.
So you're not gonna answer the question?
Not today.
Fine. Next question.
Okay.
I might not answer it since you didn't answer mine.
Before I answer this question, I want you to know that she is going to gladly answer this question. Okay? And we are gonna go on the record. We're going on the record today.
No, we do not look alike.
Okay.
Is that it?
Oh, they already see that we do. It's fine. What is the one thing that you remember about the first time we met? I need you to appreciate it.
Well, I'm glad you asked.
I did something.
The first time that we met, it was a stormy Thursday. We went through the storms.
No, ma'am. No, we didn't.
No, because we were in the storm. You was at the house.
Okay, you're right.
All right. So, what happened is, everybody had left. It was that color purple moment when they met in the fields. Yes. No. And everybody just kind of faded into the background so they can do their little thing in the fields. So that's what happened. Everybody left. My parents left me there with her, and we had picture books. I bought all kind of albums, and I had my child with me, and we just sat there, like looking at each other, smiling. And she was looking through my pictures, and she was like, oh my God. She fell asleep. Are you asleep now? No. She fell asleep. So at that point, I'm like, okay, it has been a long day, but it's still cool. So she gets back up, wake up, and she looks again, and she goes, oh my God, and I'm looking through her stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, you look so pretty, and I look over there, she's asleep again. Just like that.
Oh.
Just like that.
Gotcha.
So all of a sudden the phone rings. It's her bestie, Mitchery,
Best friend.
whatever. And I'm like, she gonna answer that? Yes. So she gets on the phone and she's just all Chicago. Yeah, girl. Yes. Yeah, girl.
Okay.
Hey, girl. Who had said that? No, he didn't. Okay. She chewing this gum that I don't even know where the gum came from because I never seen it put her in the mouth. I don't. It's like she hid it somewhere. I don't even know. But last time. But I said, wow, she'll get up for this Mitchery person, but that she don't know all her life. And all my life I done had to fight for her. And she fell asleep on me. So she gets off the phone. Oh, no. She goes, okay. Oh, girl, this is cute. She was skipping pages in my album. Like, oh, girl, this looks good. Oh, no. You is pretty.
Album don't got it.
Yes, it has pages. So she's skipping the page. She's like, oh, you look so pretty. And She falls asleep for the third time.
Let me tell you. Okay, so in my defense,
We had not cross-examined.
I was sleepy.
We had not
I
cross-examined.
be sleepy. I gotta go to sleep. So if you know me, I go to sleep. It don't matter. So it didn't mean I didn't love you.
So now you all Hispanic?
Oh, no, I'm not.
So what happens is, Meecheri calls again. Don't get sick now.
I'm sorry.
So she calls again. She does the same thing. She get on the phone. She's like, oh my God, she beating her head because her hair, nails is done.
My hair
she
was
need a
itching.
perm. Whatever. Then she finally gets off the phone. So this was a big debate. She swore up and down. She never did it.
I don't think I did this many times.
But guess what? We found footage not too long ago because my child was starting to walk and I was getting her on video walking while she was on the phone and all this stuff. So deny it. Right. Thank you. Next question.
Glad she got that out.
You'll hear it again.
I'll be sleeping.
I was gonna say, how did you feel when you met me? But I guess you were
I felt
sleepy.
sick. Yeah, I was so happy and sleepy. No.
Absolutely not.
Okay, I'm gonna answer correct. No, I was really excited. I really was. Because I didn't know that I had an older sister. So, you know, that whole week of talking to her, finding out all her information and stuff, and actually meeting her, we found out that, you know, we both love taking pictures. So, you know, the fact that she had just as many photo albums as me was a great thing. And I was excited.
Yeah, we was alike.
See, we even look alike.
Lies. I don't see it. Do you see it?
Yes.
I didn't think so.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, because, I mean, she's shorter than me. She wears like a size 2 in children, toddlers.
Don't be jealous. I wear 6, ma'am.
In toddlers. That really didn't help your case. Anyways, what was your next question?
I don't know because I dropped my paper. Hold on, let me see what it was. Oh. Now it's time to get serious. Okay, wait. Okay, serious. How do you think, wait, is that what they say? I'm trying to read it upside down and fail. And I'm not going to get out from this chair because I won't get back because I don't want y'all to see me jump. How do you think us meeting affected your life?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. I was thinking,
What? Crazy.
I will tell you, me meeting you was, it was a relief. It was a relief because a couple of years before, Ray and I had traveled to Chicago to come up on a lead that we had got online. I had found some information about her, like a previous address, and we left Memphis, went to Chicago, looked up some more addresses that we found. We went to them, and I actually spoke with our uncle, but once I got there, nobody wanted to open the door. And that was hard, but all of that, to me, all of that pain and all of the late nights and the crying and the way I was feeling and the emptiness, it was gone. Kind of like childbirth, I guess. You know, you go through the pain, and as soon as that child gets in your hands, the pain is instantly gone. The years is instantly gone. So I was relieved.
Well, my last question is, why did you fall asleep on me the first time we met? But
We got that out.
Because I'll be sleepy.
because you be sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
You're so educated.
I know.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, coming up next, we want to show you a small clip.
Yes. This clip is about the first time that I met Priscilla. So, enjoy.
Oh, you're on camera too, are you? Oh my goodness. I got paid today. We got 2 more. Oh my goodness. Actually, that one's mine. That one loud. Y'all are so silly. Say hey, brother. Look. Hey, this is Pedro Rodriguez Sanchez. Big. He is a, how do you? Your ear is something chihuahua.
All right, read it out loud.
I gotta read that out. You're in my thoughts. Oh. Okay. If you're feeling down, know that I'm here to brighten your day. If you should feel alone, know that I am always here. If you should ever need to talk, know that I will always listen. Whatever you might need, I am always here thinking of you. P.S. Today is the day you've dreamed about. No other time would do. It's your time, so scream and shout. And not one surprise, but 2. Love, Nikisha I gotta pee. Girl, don't Lord, oh, I'm gonna get you for this. Get you. Oh my goodness. Oh, baby girl, so sweet and so huggable, so precious to you and wonders. The birthday lasts a lifetime through. I'm fortunate. Okay, you're wonderful, so relax and prepare yourself for this moment will set your soul on fire. Looking up after you read this card. Set you with Shamiah! Girl, don't be scaring me like that.
Well, I guess we'll leave you with something that kind of sums up our story is adoption is not a mistake.
It's a prayer answered.
Yay! Yeah, yay!
So enjoy. Noelle. My God.
You're fired.
Who's sleepy now? Who is sleepy now? Just want to go on the record. Go.
Pick a finger. Pick
No.
a finger.
No.
Come on. Come on.
The thumb.
Yeah, that is not a finger.
Whatever.
We just discussed
Same difference.
Okay.